Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and watched Godzilla vs. Kong trailer over and over and over, because I have. But definitely, if you have time, please check out my Godzilla vs. Kong trailer reaction up here. And then afterwards, check out the Godzilla trailer breakdown. Mechagodzilla Explained? Check that one up here as well. All right, well, let's get into the topics. But again, before I have to do that, I have to check. And yes, I do. I have a new member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much to Clay Cox for joining as a member of the Ping Pong Flix Show family. I truly appreciate it. I also appreciate all the members and the subscribers. I only have a little over 1,000 more subscribers to go to hit the 20,000 subscriber mark, in which I'll be giving away a ton of prizes. So definitely, hopefully I can hit there. Please share, like, subscribe as much as you can. All right, well, let's get on with the topics of the day. The first topic is Paramount apparently turned down offers to stream Top Gun Maverick. As you know, Top Gun is from Paramount. Paramount has been pushing back a lot of their films, right? And Top Gun is another film that's supposed to come out. So what this actually means is interesting, because this is kind of very familiar to when they were streamers were trying to buy James Bond. And I think Apple was one of them. And then, Sony turned that down and says, no, we're going to stick to the stream, because Paramount and Sony, they don't have their own streaming service yet. Paramount will pretty soon, but I don't think they're going to put this on their platform. So it says here in this IndieWire article, Netflix and Apple both inquired if Paramount Pictures would be willing to sell the highly anticipated sequel, Top Gun Maverick, starring Tom Cruise, which had been due to open in theaters last summer. Based on the strength of the film's perceived box office prospects, the studio refused to consider offers. According to people familiar with the matter, so far, Top Gun Maverick is set to debut in theaters this July. So unlike A Quiet Place Part 2 and another major title, No Time to Die, of course, those are being pushed back, like I've reported on the other videos, on the other daily shows. This one is sticking to that July. I think they're in hopes that by the time July, and I kind of hope so as well, that things will be a little bit more normal. But, we'll see. Now, there is a movie that is definitely coming out on streaming and in theaters, and that, as you know, is Godzilla vs. Kong, which debuted their first trailer for the movie today. Like I said, check out my trailer reaction and my breakdown in terms of Godzilla vs. Kong. Thoughts on it? It is awesome. It's trending right now, #1 on YouTube. Millions and millions of views. Millions and millions of people have watched this and are pretty excited about it. I see a lot of people just wanting, it's kind of like when Batman v Superman, even Captain America and Iron Man, and, Freddy versus Jason. Who's Team Godzilla? Who's Team Kong? Well, as you know in the trailer, it kind of looks like Godzilla may be the antagonist. But there's also the mystery of, why is he all of a sudden an antagonist now when this whole time he was protecting people? So a lot more on that on my breakdown. But definitely it was an exciting day. Had lots of fun. Played it over and over. My kids watched it over and over. And we can't wait to watch this movie. I'm kind of glad that it came out this way, in a way, because this is the kind of movie when you're watching, you're thinking about it and talking about it, and you're like, I can't wait to watch it already. And thankfully, it's only coming out in about 2 months. So March 26th, Godzilla versus Kong. But there is a little bit of conversation in terms of Godzilla versus Kong and its release date that I want to talk about pretty soon. So stick on with the show. Now, there is a movie that left HBO Max, and that is Wonder Woman 1984. This past weekend was your last chance to watch Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max. And if you didn't, oh well, it's in theaters though. So if you still want to check it out or you still want to watch it again, you can go out to theaters. I think they're still out in theaters. Wonder Woman 1984. But at this moment, the 31 days has expired and Wonder Woman 1984 has left HBO Max. And what was probably a pretty successful HBO Max run, as the next movie is being queued up, and which is Godzilla versus Kong. So that's coming out as well. But there's another movie that's coming out in March, right? And from what I remember, and that is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League is also coming out in March. We don't know when. We are assuming, and from what Zack Snyder has said, that marketing and publicity and all that goodness is going to start next month, within like next week. So we should be able to see something soon, right? Now, Ray Fisher did come out and tease there's going to be full press junkets for Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is what he had to say.
Omar wants to know, am I part of press for Zack Snyder's Justice League? There's no way you can stop me from doing press for Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's no way. There's no way. So what that all looks like as far as the logistics and how those things get handled, like I said, I don't know that just yet, but I expect that there will be some significant promotion in some way. I can't imagine a movie that has been as anticipated, highly anticipated as this, not going whatever distance they can to promote, unless there's something else going on behind the scenes.
So that was Ray Fisher sharing that press junket will be for Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's one of the most highly anticipated, not if the highly anticipated film that is coming out on HBO Max and in theaters. So there must be something big that's going to be coming out from that in terms of publicity, marketing, and all this stuff, but including press junkets. At first, I thought there wasn't going to be any press junkets, maybe because there's sort of different, but I'm kind of glad and happy there's going to be press junkets, and I'm kind of curious how much is going to be revealed during the press junkets in terms of all the other drama that came with this, including the Justice League reshoots. Is Ben Affleck going to talk about the reshoots? If Henry Cavill going to talk about the reshoots? Gal, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and also, of course, Ray Fisher, but including Snyders themselves and even Chris Terrio. I'm wondering about all those logistics and who is going to be interviewing and how is that going to come out, because I would love to hear them talk about that, and I'm hoping that a lot of those questions can be answered in the amount of time. So I'm kind of happy that he said press junkets, and I'm kind of happy that he's not being barred from doing press junkets, at least that's what he's trying to say. But he's also said something that's kind of interesting in terms of, unless there's something behind the scenes that's going on that is trying to stop it or trying to get in the way of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which gets into my next topic. And this is coming from some people don't trust her. I totally understand. But in terms of Snyder Cut, she's usually on point with the Snyder Cut because, she's gotten several interviews with Zack Snyder already. So, and she also has someone in their court. But she did say this, and I thought this was kind of interesting because people were talking about this today. Zack Snyder's Justice League release date. You want to know what the release date? I want to know what the release date. My neighbors want to know what the release date. Okay, maybe they don't. But definitely a lot of people want to know the release date for Zack Snyder's Justice League. We want to know when to prepare for that movie, when to take time off from work, when to call in sick. We definitely want to know, right? But Grace Randolph pulled this out. I didn't watch her trailer breakdown, but she commented on something after about her breakdown that she talked about, and said this: regarding my comment on Snyder Cut versus Godzilla versus Kong, right now they're scheduled to come on March 25th and March 26th, respectively. The Snyder team is trying to move back a week, even though they had their date first. We'll see what happens, fingers crossed. I meant move up to March 18th, but But again, we'll see. Official date is coming this week or so. Okay. Right now it's March 25th, but Godzilla vs. Kong moved to March 26th. The Snyder Cut is trying to move to March 18th. Hear that? Is trying to move to March 18th. Now, when I read this, I'm kind of like, at first I'm like, that's insane. That's kind of ridiculous, for especially if Jason Kylar is involved in the whole thing. Like, why would you put out something so close together? If Zack Snyder's Justice League had March 25th, who decided to put Godzilla vs. Kong on March 26th? Yes, are controversial, all the controversies, you can be conspiratorial if you want. Is Warner Brothers trying to eclipse Zack Snyder's Justice League by giving Godzilla vs. Kong the March 26th date? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea if they would do that. Why would they eat their own property other than being, like I said from before many times, just their ego? But then I've heard also that that's not the case. That the case really is that, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a decision made by Max Originals, of course, and the people that are in charge of what to release out for Godzilla vs. Kong, when to release it out, is the people who own most of that. Like, they invested most of that product, and that would be Legendary. So Legendary wanted to move up from May, I think it was, to March 26th, and that's the date they chose. Okay. I mean, I was thinking maybe at that time they go says, yeah, that's great. Look, though, we have Zack Snyder's Justice League, one of the most anticipated films of all time, coming out on March 25th. Can you wait a week? Can you put it up a week or something? No, they said 26. That's where we wanted, and I think it's kind of being bullied into that, right? Not Warner Brothers, Legendary, kind of bullying them into it. And maybe for good reason, because they're the ones that didn't tell Legendary that they were going to do this whole streaming thing. In fact, they even didn't tell Legendary that Netflix called and saying they wanted to pay about $250 million to put Godzilla vs. Kong on Netflix, in which they said no. And now it is coming on a streaming service, but on HBO Max. So I'm thinking maybe Legendary was kind of like, look, man, that was really crappy of you for doing that. You know what? Move up our release date. And you know what? You're going to put it on this date because we invested over 75% into this film, into Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't care what's coming out on 25th. We're going to put it on 26th. But that makes a dilemma for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Because now they're going to have to find another date. And if the Snyders are truly trying to find a date to move it up a week, that's kind of cool. Like, we'll get it earlier, March 18th. I hope that happens. That'd be kind of great. Then we'll have a little bit of time to consume and get through Zack Snyder's Justice League while Godzilla vs. Kong comes out the next week. Do I find this as a really big problem, though? Not really. It's a streaming service. I mean, like, if it was a theatrical thing, then yeah, it'll take up seats. It'll take up, the actual rooms, the theater rooms, and the dates and times and stuff like that. It's going to be a problem because people are choosing with their tickets. They want to go watch that, or there's not available, right? So like at an 8-plex, maybe 4 for Godzilla vs. Kong and 4 for Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's a problem. Like, if there's 2 of them, if it was just one big major movie in about that month, then it would be like Godzilla vs. Kong for all like 6 or 7 plexes or whatever, and 1 for something else. But in this case, it's streaming service though, so maybe there's not much of an issue. Yeah, I think a lot of marketing promotion will kind of eclipse one or the other, or be a little bit confusing. But in a kind of sense, yeah, one's a superhero movie and the other one's a monster movie, which is 2 of my greatest, absolutely anticipated things coming out in March. I'm not looking forward to anything after that. Like, I'm getting everything I've ever wanted for this year in March. Godzilla vs. Kong and also especially Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I guess, I don't know, will that eclipse? I can almost see you clicking on to Zack Snyder's Justice League and watching that, and then when Godzilla vs. Kong becomes available, you'll just go ahead and watch that. Maybe once, maybe twice, but only through that 31 days. Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be there for years to come. So, I don't know. It really is an interesting situation. I can't think of when a major big release came out on Netflix and a day later another major big release came out on Netflix. Streaming it's not a new thing. It's been here for a while, but having big blockbuster movies, highly anticipated movies on a streaming service is certainly different. That's certainly different, and I don't know what to gauge from it. I do know that subscribers will be subscribing in up the yin yang on HBO Max in March in anticipation for both of these movies. And hopefully they stay on afterwards to continue watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. And of course, for that other library of films that are going to come out this year. Remember, we still got Matrix 4, we still got Dune, and a whole bunch of other movies as well, including, you know what, the Suicide Squad. So there's a lot of movies coming out, and hopefully people keep subscribing in. But March is going to be a pretty busy month. Next month is probably going to be another busy marketing month for both Zack Snyder's Justice League and Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm pretty excited. I'm really am. But so I don't think it will be too much of a problem, but hopefully the Snyders get what they want if Grace Randolph is speaking the truth there and they do get an earlier release date. So that'd be kind of cool to at least see Zack Snyder's Justice League a little bit earlier than Godzilla vs. Kong. But we're going to need that Zack Snyder's trailer. I know we got a trailer, but let's get another one, and hopefully that drops like next month. All right. That is it pretty much for the topics for today. Let's get into the members' comments and questions. Like I said, if you want me to read your comment and question, please join as a member down below and put a comment or question on any of my daily shows, especially the current one, and I'll talk about it on the next show, right? So let's see here. The first comments, let's see, let's go up. First comment. Our question is Cooper Moser. See the trailer for the movie Nobody yet? Yes, I have. I checked it out. It's really cool looking, by the makers of John Wick, apparently. Really awesome. Some dude who calls, he's like a special forces or something. He's taking out guys on the bus. And it does remind me of John Wick in a way. And definitely that looks like something I could probably check out a little later. So thank you for that recommendation. John Aaron Garza. I think the imagery of Kong and the child is like the creation of Adam. Think godly allegory like BVS. And also the we need Kong, the world needs him is similar to how people are about Superman, and it's spoken by Kyle Chandler. Yeah, seriously, like today Batman v Superman was kind of trending because people were comparing it to Batman v Superman, and I've always compared it to Batman v Superman. I've even made videos about it. In fact, I may even make a trailer. I know, John, you're probably going to do something with that, and I'm expecting you to do that, Garza. But definitely, it's a great conversation piece, and it's a great kind of thing to see online, especially when I already see that the similarities, and it's great that other people see it as too. So it's had this weird, interesting connection between Batman v Superman and Godzilla vs. Kong. Although I've also seen some things where, like, Kong is blocking with his axe, the ray is very similar, and coming down towards Godzilla is actually very similar to, yes, in Marvel. Thor had the hammer or the axe actually, and he's coming down towards Thanos, and he's bringing down, blocking the ray as well. So the beam as well. So they have that similarities, especially, but it does go to show you that Godzilla versus Kong, even though it's a monster film, I want to say it's almost a superhero movie as well. Sean Gates, speaking of Hamada's shame, is it just me, or is it significant that Warner Brothers hasn't publicly responded to Fisher? Picture it. Ian Sarnoff's office last Monday morning. Good morning, Ian. Don't add me. What did you do, Walt? What do you mean? Fisher tweeted again. He's got nothing. Pissing in the wind. He records his calls, Walt. Tell me if I call him out, I won't be hearing your voice saying something embarrassing. I need Johns. I don't know anything about cartoon characters. Jesus, Walter. I can make this right. I'll go to the press. Walter, if you do any such thing, you'll be out on your ass so fast it'll look like you were shot out of a cannon. You get me? Am I in trouble? Mr. Smoker! Get me, Greg Berlanti. That's a funny skit. Sean Gates, sorry if my comment was so long, Chris. No problem. I don't have any serious Snyder fans in my immediate circle, and I like hearing what you have to say. Well, thank you very much. Also, pandemic and all, I guess I'm missing going to the movies with my homies and having that deep dive conversation over burgers or beers afterwards. That sounds good. Kind of hungry. Anyway, I'll try to reel it in, but thanks for reading the whole thing. I'd have understood if you didn't. Yeah, truly appreciate it. It's just to make it a little bit, give a little bit of room for other people as well. But thank you so much for your comment. And Skit, I gotta ask, Eric Blake, I gotta ask, if Gunn wants to do a completely different continuity to the point of Harley apparently meeting Rick Flag and Captain Boomerang for the first time, why would he keep the original cast for those characters? Furthermore, why wouldn't he recast Deadshot after Will Smith wasn't available? No, I think it's still in continuity, just akin to most of the James Bond films where you don't need to have seen one to understand the events of another. Yeah, that is interesting. You got a point there. Why is it the same people? And why didn't they recast Deadshot? There was rumors that they were going to recast Deadshot, but they decided not to and keep, Will Smith as Deadshot and just create a new character for Idris Elba. I'm a comic book character. I gotta ask, if Gunn wants to do a completely different continuity to the point of Harley, wait a minute, I just said this. That's another one. That was twice. Interesting. If the implications of Ray's tweets are indeed what we suspect, and Hamada has indeed apologized to him behind the scenes, it looks like Kylar and Sarnoff indeed had a meeting and deemed Fisher more valuable than Hamada, and commanded him to apologize or else move off DC Films. Ray's remaining condition that Hamada's apology be public and to all involved, thus be satisfied one way or another, soon be that public apology or Hamada being replaced. It is inevitable. By the way, imagine for a second Hamada being replaced by Jon Favreau. I know highly unlikely because he's running Mandalorian, but he clearly has authority and knows how to run a ship. Heck, maybe J.J. Abrams for all I care. He and Zack are known to be friendly. Imagine his company Bad Robot running the theatrical DC films, while Zack's Stone Quarry runs the HBO Max side of things. I wish Greg Silverman was back. Like, he did a lot of the work back then, prior to him leaving. And I think he would have been a cool producer still yet. I really think we need to ask ourselves, who was it that called the Flash film Batfleck's Swan Song or whatever? I somehow don't recall Ben saying anything about that. I personally suspect it's a narrative the media is pushing so they don't look wrong saying Batfleck is over. Perhaps, and we'll have to wait and see about that. I do recall the trades actually said that's their sources said, but you're right, Ben didn't exactly say that himself. Bolavindo Me, happy belated birthday, Chris. Well, thank you so much, Bolavindo Me. I truly appreciate it. Karan Prasad, belated happy birthday, Chris. Thank you so much. Is Ben Affleck really moving on? I would honestly love to see a Batfleck film or series on HBO Max. The Suicide Squad is indeed a strange reboot. How do you think it'll fit the current DCU, especially considering the fact that it's coming out after Zack Snyder's Justice League? Well, I don't think any of the characters in the Suicide Squad are in Zack Snyder's Justice League, so I don't think that would matter too much. And it'll depend if it ties into anything specific in the DCU, just like, even David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Batfleck continuing, it seems kind of dire right now, but, because he has a lot of projects. But we'll see. Maybe the Snyder Cut would definitely, make him do something, continue in some fashion. Clay Cox, do you think Ben Affleck would be the perfect fit for Joel, the Last of Us series? I personally can see it. I can kind of see it. Like I said, I've only watched the cinematic version of the game. I never played it, but yeah, I can probably see a dozen people, different dozen people that can play that character definitely, and Ben Affleck and the beard and mustache would definitely be one of them. So yeah, I could definitely actually see that. So that'd be kind of cool. But if you would, I don't know. All right, well, that is it for all the Ping Pong Flix members' comments and questions. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.